we've worked our way through a few Grey Hunters. Now it's time to tackle something a bit bigger, a Headtaker. Hi, my name's Paul. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to go for something a little bit bigger and fancier and scarier, a Headtaker. I painted 3 Grey Hunters so far from the Space Wolves army box, and I feel confident, you know? I feel like I've got a good recipe down, some good techniques for Space Wolves. So I want to tackle something a little bit more challenging. So we've got this sprue here that's full of all fantasy pieces like shields and big furs and loads of stuff that's really intimidating, but I'm super excited for it because, like I said, I feel quite confident with the Space Wolves now. I feel like I've got the basics down and I want to push myself a little bit. So in this video, we're going to be building him up from start to finish, priming him and then painting him. So yeah, I won't waffle on too long, let's get to it. Cool, so we've got our book on the right page, we've got the Wolf Guard Headhunters, some nice heads to pick from, and some huge intimidating pieces, and we've got our sprues, the precious plastic crack. So, what do we start with? I'm going to go for this guy. I've noticed there's 3 to build. Got like an axe swinging, an axe by his side, and what's the next one? This axe down here. So yeah, it looks like there's sort of 3 variants to build. So I'm going to start with this one, just so I kind of like this like big wide axe swinging. So we'll start with C1, 2, 3, 4. So I know I said I felt confident with the Space Wolves and like I was ready for something like this, but looking at this guy is making me feel a little bit nervous. I didn't realise how many details and like tiny little things are on him. Always a little bit intimidating. All these little emblems, the amount of fur. Oh wow, okay. I'm sure it'll be fine, but let's crack on. So next up is a leg, C4, and then I'll do these 2 as well, 6 and 7. I might leave this C5 off to like sub-assemble, we'll see. I'll clip it off anyway. So this is meant to go on his leg, but like this big knife covers up so much of the chest. Like, is it crazy to leave this off to sub-assemble? Because like I want to get into this belt and all of this like stuff in the middle and the fur, but this knife covers so much in it. Is that just mental to leave this tiny bit off? Tell you what, I'll actually leave it off just to try it because it'd be interesting to see what it's like painting individual pieces, even down to this like degree, like foot panels. Although I say that, maybe I should build the rest of it and see where we're at. Although actually, it looks like all that's left after this is just the weapons, the shield at the back. Yeah, the auxiliary bits. So let's cut off all of these bits actually, the weapon, the back, the shield and the head, and see where we're at. And yeah, it might even be a case of sub-assembling like leg panels and all sorts. Alright, and there it is, all sort of built up, sub-assembled, attached to various different bits of cork. That was really quick actually. I thought there'd be a lot more things going on in such a big, detailed model. But it is only 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5-ish steps. So yeah, not too much. I mean, probably due to the fact that I've sub-assembled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6, 7 pieces, even down to these silly little leg guards. But I just want to try it out, yeah, see what it's like going to the real nitty-gritty sub-assembly. So what I'm going to do now is quickly undercoat all this with, I think this time I'm going to go with a matte white. No zenithal, no greys, just a real light white base coat. We'll come back for the painting. Right, that's everything primed and ready to go. Look at that. I mean, every single time I go through the same sort of wave of emotions. When I'm building it, I'm like, oh, this is a bit intimidating and scary. Like, what have I done? Or I get a little bit anxious to paint it. So the second I prime it and that undercoat is on, I'm just instantly like, no, yeah, this is good. I can't wait. I'm excited. Maybe one day I'll learn. So my plan for the Headtaker is we're going to put a layer of Space Wolves grey down, and then we're going to put a really thin down layer of this Tyran blue over the top. But without further ado, let's get stuck in. Let's get all these armour panels Space Wolf grey. So there's the first layer of Space Wolves contrast done. I say first layer, it's the only layer that's going on. But it's the first of the base layers we're putting on, and I'm a big fan of this, yeah. I think what's happened, I think the Black Templar have actually done me dirty here and lured me into some bad practices with contrast paints. So when I first started using contrast, I was just kind of slapping it on like a shade, just like really heavily applying it, getting it in the recesses, almost like a shade paint. But that's not what you're meant to do. I think you're meant to more like use it like a normal paint, like really thin layers, really like delicately apply it. Like, for example, I wasn't even, after getting it on the brush, I wasn't wiping off the excess like I am now. Like you can see here, like I always wipe off the excess and use it like a normal base paint now. But I think, like I said, when I used it on the Black Templar originally, because it was black, it kind of masked my mistakes. So I was like just slapping it on like a shade paint. So I think, yeah, I got into some bad practices with it. Now that I'm actually getting to use more brighter colours and see the actual effects of it, I really, really like it. And yeah, definitely getting into some better habits with contrast paints now. So a big fan of this so far. But yeah, the main mistake I made with this Tyran blue last time was I didn't water it down at all. So now this time on my palette, you can see here, although it's kind of leaked into the Space Wolves grey. Yeah, just here I've actually put it on the palette and I'm going to water it down with some technical Larnian medium. Oh, I just went to grab the model I did in my last video with the same scheme, the same like grey and blue to like compare it, and oh my god, it's like night and day. Look at this guy. So this one I did, so this guy I did in my last video, and I did the same scheme, but I didn't water down any of the two paints, and I really heavily applied it, which made it really dark blue, and that was the issue I had. Whereas this guy, I was really controlled, proper thinned down the paints, and yeah, such a nicer shade. A nice light, proper Space Wolves grey rather than ultramarine blueberry. So yeah, definitely watering down these two paints and applying them sort of very finely and delicately definitely helped. So I'm a big fan of this. But yeah, that's wild. So we'll just do the rest of these pieces in the Tyran blue, and then we can move on to something else. I'm not really sure what yet. Cool. So that's all of the armour done for now. But it's looking good. I really like it. I'm so happy that I got like a good contrast look down, because like I said, I did really enjoy this last one, like all of the little crevices and the recess shading and the depth it added. It's just the dark blue was a bit and I can't believe how much watering it down and applying less of it has changed it. Like it is just night and day. But yeah, it's looking really good. I'm really happy with the colour, the depth. Like I said, I might add some edge highlights later. So next up, I don't even know. What do I do next? I'll tell you what, we'll just do what we always do. We'll do this torso details next. So we'll fill in some of the black armour ribbons. There's one on his belt and his weapon. And then we'll add like the Aquila. Has he got an Aquila? Yeah, he's got a big chest insignia, some details on the belt and some fur. So yeah, just that whole torso area. We'll do that next. So we've done some of the black on the ribbons and the little details. And next up is the shield. So I've got the insignia on the shield. I'm not really sure what to do with it. So the tutorial I'm watching says to use Black Legion contrast, which I don't have. And I do have, oh actually I forgot about this, hold on. Oh no, there's more to the mix. I was just about to say I've got Black Templar contrast, but I've just realised I've got Basilicanum grey as well. Although I can't actually remember the last time I opened this. Oh my god, it's like sealed shut. Oh okay, hold on, let's have a look at these. Oh, I might use the Basilicanum grey actually. I might put a layer of this Basilicanum grey because I completely forgot I had it, to be fair. Yeah, that's quite interesting actually. That's not too bad. My only concern is it's not super dark, although it actually looks a lot darker on camera than it does in person. What I think I will do though with this is leave this for now, I want to see what it looks like once I fill in all of the little like gems and like armor, trim, the gold and whatnot. So we'll come back to that. I definitely want to do some highlights on it though, whether it be dry brush or edge or what. Like I said, I want to see what the whole thing looks like before we start slapping on highlights. So what's next? We've done the blacks, we've done the greys. Yeah, we'll do some more of the torso. Do you know what we'll do? We'll quickly do the Aquila and this little belt situation. There's like a gold around the edge, a gem and some bones. There's actually 2 gems hidden underneath the black. And then we'll move on to the fur, because that's going to be quite a big chunky thing. There's so much of it. Cool, so we're going to use 2 separate colours for our gold details. I'm going to stick with Retributor armour for the Aquila, just to make it big and bold and shiny. And then all of the Space Wolves specific trinkets and gold, I'm going to go with Balthasar. Cool, so I'm going to try something with the fur here. I'm going to go some combination of like a skeleton horde on the base, and then I'm going to try and layer some like different browns over the top of it to add some sort of gradient. I'm not really sure how this is going to go, but what I'll do is I'll try it on like this section here, and if it's not very good, I can just go over it. And if it is okay, then we'll do it for the whole thing. But yeah, kind of just like applying skeleton horde, and then while that's still wet, kind of blending in some other browns to add some shading. Oh yeah, that didn't go too well. I tried to do some sort of like wet blending thing, but I think what's happened is I've just kind of wiped previous layers away from each other, and you can see it's even like falling down and pooling into this bit here. Just dab that away. Yeah, I don't think it's made. I don't know actually. I'm not sure if that wet blending was a good idea, but what I might actually do though is try something similar on this side, but instead of like applying the colours while the one underneath is still really, really wet, I'll give it just a minute or 2 to dry before applying it. So let's quickly try that and see how that looks. So, some interesting results from playing around with this fur stuff, which I almost certainly should have done before putting it on the massive Headtaker model. And I don't know if it's the wet blended, the patience or what, but I quite like this side. I feel like it accentuates the fur details. Like it sits in between the recesses of the fur, you can kind of see each individual strand, and looks a bit more natural. Whereas this kind of looks a bit layered this side. I can see the separations between the 3. So you know what I might do? I might just do what I did on this side, the wet blending across all of it. Oh, there we go. That's looking alright. You know, there's some like layers to it. Like it's a certain different shade on top. It's a little bit darker at the bottom, which I think would make sense because kind of when you look at the side, this bit down here that's a bit darker is like kind of set in a little bit. With a nice little transition here. I mean, it's a little bit all over the place. In a lot of the other videos I've seen, people have like a lot of cohesion with the fur. Like they kind of have a base colour and then like kind of sections in the middle that are one colour, and there's like actually layered. But I don't know, I think this is kind of okay. It's still a little bit wet at the bottom, so we'll see what happens when it dries. But looking at it from the front, I think it's kind of cool. Like especially here, you can see it's like a little bit darker here in the middle. There's some like lightness on the outside. Yeah, it's looking alright. One thing I didn't realise though is he actually has got some shoulder pads. I completely forgot because they're built into the body. I didn't put them on individually, but just here there's a trim that needs to be the same as the armour. And there's a tiny little bit inside that needs to be Averland Sunset. Sweet, so there's the little shoulder details done, just bringing it all together. Our last big thing on the torso before we do the belt and this knee is just some more fur. So yeah, just go back to the same thing we just did, but on the lower bit, just down here. Cool, that fur's looking really good, you know, I'm quite happy with it. I definitely think there's room for improvement, but for our first big piece of fur, it's quite cool. There's lots of different like colours, there's different layers to it. The fur's still prominent. That's looking okay. Got a few things left on this chest piece. We've got this insignia, the gem thing in the middle, and then some details on the legs. Now we'll just do the normal. We'll do like a Mephiston Red gem with some Evil Sunz highlights, some Rhinox hide on the leather and the teeth and whatnot, and then see where we are from there. Oh boy, so that's all of the torso done and the back. And I think this might take a little bit longer than I thought it would. Yeah, like I feel like I've done loads on this guy. Like look, he's got these Aquila, the belt, the fur, like this. I mean, to be fair, this is done, this section. But I feel like I've been at it for hours, and every time I look at my desk, there's like 5, 6 extra little bits that need doing. But I'm hoping once I start the little bits, they might be like a little bit quicker, because some of them are literally just small little shin pads like this. But what I like to do, and I've noticed in other videos that people do it differently, but I quite like doing sections at a time. I've noticed people do colours, so they'll do all of the armour, then they'll be like, now we'll apply the Abbadon Black over all of it, and now we'll apply, I don't know, the Leadbelcher on everything. So I've noticed people do it in swaths of colour, and that's quite cool, but I kind of like doing like sections at a time. There's like little wins, you know, like I can look at this and go, this looks really cool. I mean, like I haven't really spoke about it, but it looks awesome, like so cool. This huge cloak over his shoulders, all these, like, I love the 2 pins that hold the pelt on him. It's proper regal. And then I like the belt, like the imagery and the fur. I just don't think I've done very well with the belt, like the actual insignia and the gem and the bones. I am going to put a wash on it eventually, and I'm hoping that might darken down the bones a little bit, but I'm not too happy with the belt. But everything else I love, like I've mentioned, I really, really like these little pins that hold in the pelt cloak. But yeah, like I said, I quite like doing sections at a time, because then it feels like little wins, you know? It's not like one long journey of do all these steps and eventually it's done. I feel like, oh, I've accomplished something. And I look at this and like, yeah, I've done something real cool. I've made some progress. Although that does reset though when I like pick up, say, the sword, and I'm like, oh, all I've done is a little bit of black and nothing else. That's still a bit, but it's quite cool. It's like lots of like little wins that compound into something big and cool. So I quite like doing it that way. So on that note, we've done this section. So we're going to put this to one side, slide them on over. And I think next up, yeah, I want to switch it up a little bit and do the axe, I think. And there's not a lot to it, to be fair. There's some studs, the handle, and then the actual axe itself, so it might be quite quick. So that's all the little details done on the axe, and this looks unbelievable. I don't know what it is about big, stonky melee weapons, but it just does it for me, man. I absolutely love them. Like, I got this huge sword on the Black Templar martial I did, this massive axe. Again, like, I love big, massive, over-the-top melee weapons. They're my absolute favourite. So, what I need to do now for this guy, just a little details. So there's like a couple little bolts around the black section of the axe. I need to do some edge highlights, and there's some power nodes I kind of want to do, like a glowing effect, similar to, that's a good job I grabbed him, similar to the sort of weird like plasma-y thing I did on this. I kind of want to paint the power nodes blue, and then kind of stipple that same blue around the edge. Just looking at the book, yeah, it kind of looks like a glowing energy. Maybe they painted white with some blue. Actually, yeah, I tell you what we'll do, we'll paint them white. The little power nodes white, and then we'll stipple some blue over the top. Cool, so there's all the details done, and also I did try and do some kind of glow effect. So what I did was I painted the power node white, I stippled on some Calgar blue, like really watered down, and then I tried to apply some like thicker Calgar blue around the edges. And then I also tried to put like some light Leadbelcher over the top to try and like blend it in between the two, and it didn't come out too great, but I mean from a distance it's kind of a little bit glowy and fine, so that's alright. So the only thing left to do is just put some washes on this bad boy. So we're going to do Agrak Surfshade on the handle, the gold edges, and then maybe this little like bronze Balthasar gold insignia, and then we're going to put non-oil over all the silver parts. And then that should be it, to be fair, for this axe. So let's quickly slap them on. There we go, axe fully done. This looks incredible, it's so good. I love all the different colours on it. Like, you'd think weapon, there's not much to it, it's just a sword or an axe, but the big Khorne red handle, the little tassels, the gold trim, even I really like the little runes in the axe. Like, it just separates it from like regular axe to like a cool Space Wolves axe. Yeah, big fan. I absolutely love the highlights on the black as well. So I could get this guy from over here. So I did try on my last Marine to highlight the black with Eshin Grey, and it was okay, it wasn't great. But this like Dark Reaper and Thunderhawk Blue is incredible. It's so much better. I really, really like it. The power nose on the X were kind of okay. It's okay. Like, it doesn't look great, but if I hold it from a distance and just glance at it, like, I don't know if it'll come up. Like, from a distance, it just looks kind of like a little bit glowy, a little bit bright. And that's what it is, because it's just power nodes. But no, really happy with this axe overall. And it's done. This, I can just put it to one side and not look at it until it's time to build. There's still quite a bit left, to be fair. I say that. There's 4 corks left. The shield is like half done. I think I'm going to leave this till last. And then we've got a couple little bits like the helmet, the backpack. They can be done together, I think, because they're not too big. They've just got silvers and golds on them. And then that leaves us with these pieces, which is probably what I'm going to do next. It's the 2 leg panels. So there's the right leg that's got the knife on it, and then it's the left panel that's got like a gun holster. Yeah, so we're going to start with some Rhinox hide over these leather parts. So we've got this gun pouch and this dagger holder. I still don't know what this like second layer is. It's like there's like leather on top, and then there's some little hooks. So I'm assuming they're meant to be silver. I don't know what's underneath. If anyone knows in the comments, let me know. I've looked online, and this part is covered by the shield, so like it's so hard to see on other people's videos. Sweet, so there's the leather done. There's a few things we need to add on now. So there's some gold on the handle of this knife and on the bottom of this pouch. And I think some silvers for like the utility bits. So there's like a little hook there, and then some trim. Actually, I might make the trim gold because the handle's going to be silver. Oh my god, there's a lot more details on this than I thought there were. So we start on this side, that little thing on top of the pouch. I don't think it was actually a gem, I think it was a bit of silver. I've checked the book, so I've just done that silver. There's still like a little bit of tidying up I need to do here, but it's looking alright so far. And then yeah, on this side, I know it's got a gem in the middle, but I didn't notice that it's got a little border around it, so that border needs to be gold. And then also inside, just there between the shin and the dagger, there's some fur. So just quickly going to drop some skeleton horde in there. Unreal. I think that's all of the base colours done for everything. Yeah, looking pretty sweet. I mean, it's a little bit messy to be fair. It's like all the small details, like the button on the top half and this gem's a little bit messy. But it's okay. It's quite a small detail, and it was, yeah, quite difficult Although I do like that little bit of furs coming through. I'm really glad I spotted it. Just that breaks up the section quite nicely. Yeah, I'm actually quite happy with this little dagger as well, you know, considering the thing I hated the most about my last video was the similar sort of thing, this big, huge scabbard at the back with all these like bolts that hold it in. This was kind of getting to me a little bit and I kind of really didn't like it. So I'd have a similar thing on the Headtaker, but on a smaller scale, and it'd be quite alright. It's good, nice little improvement. So, next up I want to do some, well, what's left on this section is just highlights and washes. So I'm going to do the same thing I always do with my leathers, which is the Rhinox hide base, and then we're going to edge highlight it all with some Mournfang brown, just a lighter brown around the edges, and then we'll wash it down with some, I think it's Agrax Earthshade, and then maybe some Nuln oils. Actually, no Nuln oil, it'll be Agrax Earthshade over everything. Unbelievable, we're absolutely flying through this. So that's another section done. We've done, there's all like leg panels and some leathery pouches and whatnot. And I like these a lot. I'm really, really happy with how the leather turned out, especially this little pouch. Like, looks good and clean, but this knife, ooh, like I mentioned, I was a bit hesitant because it's similar to the sword I just did last video with the like ribbons and the hooks on it. And I was a bit anxious because the sword was a bit iffy and I didn't know what colours it were meant to be, but it's looking really good. The only minor thing about this is the gem's a little bit messy. And I'm not a massive fan of the handle. Like the Khorne red's okay, but there's like a silver chunk next to it, and I'm like, it looks a bit weird, it stands out, so I'm not sure what else it could be, but I'll just leave it for the time being. Maybe later on some inspirational strike. But I'm really happy with how these little leathery details have turned out. So next up I'm going to do the shield, which at first seems intimidating, but I've kind of got ahead of myself and done most of it already. So with this, there's just some rivets and some gems that need filling in, and then I might dry brush something over this skull because it's a bit monotonal at the minute. Not sure how I feel about the shield. I don't think the paint itself is bad, like the application and whatnot. There's a couple of little patchy bits that I'm going to tidy up after this. Like just here, some silvers overlapped and there's like a gaps here and there. A bit plain. Then again, looking at the book, it's just that. It's just blue, gold, silver and insignia. I guess I was just hyping it up a little bit too much, I guess. Like in my mind I was like, yeah, it's this huge, big and massive centerpiece. Something I've not done before, something big and interesting, but no, this is all there is to it, to be fair. So after the shield, we've got the backpack and the head. We'll do the backpack next because there's a fair bit to it. So we've just done some silver on the backpack, and one minor thing I do really like that I've been doing recently, but I've not spoken about, is this backpack thing here when it comes into focus. Is I like that they're doing the trim, this thing around the edge, rather than a big bulky bit in the middle being silver, because I feel like it just looks like a big blob. Yeah, like when I do it like this, it's just a big blob of silver. I'm not a massive fan of it. And I can't remember who I saw do the outline. Honestly, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. But I do quite like this like silver outline on the back of it, and like filling in some of the gaps. Quite cool. But next up, I'm pretty sure this whole top piece is meant to be Balthasar gold, with obviously the gem being red. Let me double check the book, because it seems easy. Yeah, just looks like Balthasar. I'm not sure if there's any like Leadbelcher, no? Looks like Balthasar, maybe with some highlights. Even the gem casing. Well, let's slap all the Balthasar on and do some shades and whatnot, and we can see how it looks. Cool, so I did a little bit of digging and it turns out there is actually quite a bit of silver on here. So the trim of the gem should be silver. There's some studs around the edge and a little ring. So we'll just pop some silver on them and also highlight this gem. It's Mephiston Red at the minute, so we'll put a little layer of Evil Sunz on it, some stuff around the back, and then we can put a layer of, what we're talking, Agrax Earthshade. There we go. All the details on the gem, that's looking pretty nice. I mean, it's still got the Agrax Earthshade drying on the top of it, but I'm actually quite impressed how good it looks considering it's just 90% Balthasar gold with some splashing of silver and red. Yeah, happy with that. So we'll just put this to one side because all that's left now is the helmet. So he's got a little fur headpiece and our two options are the kind of wet blend I've done before or this little tassel on the side. And I quite like the idea of it just being like a small simple thing. Like not too much going on because we have the head on top of this and it's also got the whole like because the pelt on the front's got the same, so like it'd be so much like of different colours and shades and blends all over. I do quite like the idea of just giving this headpiece something a little bit simple. So we'll do some Zandri dust with some Agrax Earthshade on that one. Cool, so the last thing to do on this helmet is just dry brush some of this Zandri dust back over the top of the fur. I like doing the Zandri dust coat, the shade, and then dry brush, just to bring some levels and layers to it. That's what I've done on previous stuff like the Black Temple Marshal. I thought I was done. I got really excited, ready to build it and do all the cool fun camera angles. I completely forgot I haven't done any of the shades on the torso. So we'll do some Agrax on the Aquila, this little Balthasar gold piece, and then I'll try and do a little bit on these bones on the belt and see how that turns out. Oh my god, I think that's it. I think we're done. I'm just looking at all like 3, 6, 7 pieces on my desk of this thing built. We've done shading, edge highlighting, all the colours. I think we're good. I think we're ready to build it and I can't wait. So let's not delay any further. Let's squidge in the screen a little bit, do the cool fancy cinematic stuff and start building this guy. Here we go, underneath this mug is our first ever Headtaker, the biggest Space Wolf model we've ever painted. Ta-da! God, look at that guy. Oh my god, there's so much going on. He's so beefy. What an absolute unit. Yeah, this guy's an absolute beast. Look at the size of him. There's so much going on. I absolutely love him. Like, oh, look at that shield. Yeah, this is incredible. 10 out of 10 for this guy. Let's grab the podium so we can give a proper little look at him. There we go, Headtaker number 1. What an absolute model. Yeah, this guy was a little bit different actually, because normally when I do a Xenophil highlight, I kind of construct everything with blue tack, so I kind of get an image of what the model will look like built before I start painting it. But I didn't do a Xenophil with this guy. I just did like a sub-assembled white undercoat and everything. So this is the first time I'm seeing it fully built, and I'm speechless. He's so beefy. I love all the fur, the huge axe, the massive shield. He just seems like an absolute unit. Oh my god, I love him. Like, I was a little bit nervous when it was all in individual pieces. I was like, oh, is this really going to live up to like the hype? Because this was one of the models when I saw the box, I was like, oh my god, I need this. This thing looks incredible. But yeah, man has well and truly lived up to his legacy and has delivered. There's so much detail, so much going on, but we'll go over the paint job from the top down as always. So we'll start with the axe. I love it. It's so cool. I just love big, huge, stonking melee weapons. I love the fact the handle is really long. It looks like a two-hander, like a normal person would be using two hands. I love how much is going on it as well. So like, there's the power nodes and the runes that add like a teeny tiny bit onto the axe rather than it just being plain, because I have done an axe before. Yeah, like I've done this Black Templar one, and it's kind of cool, but like this looks like a one-handed axe, quite small. But the actual, look at that, like next to it, the sheer size of this dude is massive, and there's so much more going on. So it's got the runes, like we said, it's got that sort of insignia in the middle with the wolf's head. I like that a lot. And then yeah, this sort of black section, and I can't go over how good the edge highlighting is on this. Like not necessarily the skills, like toot my own horn, but more just like the colours, like how much the Dark Reaper and Thunderhawk blue fit. Like yeah, I love it. It's so good. It's just spot on. It's exactly what was missing, because I was really not worried. I'm anxious. I can't think of the words, but I was really unhappy with the black highlights that I've done recently. So to find like some colours that I like, incredible. I love it. But yeah, the silver, all the little details, the Khorne red, the gold, it just compounds into this big, huge, incredible like section of the model that really adds so much to it. Because if you got rid of it, there's not really much to him. Like, he's just a big, chonky, thick boy, but now he's got this huge, like, two-handed axe, essentially, that he's wielding with one hand. Love it. It's my favourite part. And then we go for the thing on the back, the Balthasar insignia with the gem. I like it. It's cool. I like the little bits of silver, and the red kind of adds some flair to this big bronze Balthasar gold kind of, not relic, insignia, beacon. I don't even know what it is. With this giant thing on the back, it just adds more to him, you know, because, again, if we took it off, like, we hid it somehow, I don't know. But, yeah, if you hide it, it's just like he's missing something. Like, that's what I like about him. There's so much going on, and it all adds to this big, huge, like, a massive model. Like, if you took off, made the axe a bit smaller, got rid of the backpack, it just seemed like, maybe even like a Terminator. Like, a bit thick and a bit chonky, but quite small and condensed. But no, he's, like, grand and so tall and wide. So, yeah, I like that. I'm really happy I chose the fur to be different from the shoulders. Like, it just breaks it up a little bit. Like, it's quite a light tassel, and then you've got this sort of like pelt on him. And yeah, to go over the pelt, I'm really happy with it, you know. I was a bit worried, a bit nervous how to do it, because fur's like, feels like it could be easy to mess up, and it's not incredible. I do definitely prefer the wet blended side, like here going downwards, like it's a bit patchy at the bottom, so maybe we could do that better in the future. But no, it looks okay. I like it on the pelt in the middle. It's hidden a little bit, but like from a glance, it just looks good. Like some nice sort of layers, some nice colours. And I like what it adds to the armour. So you got like this bright grey armour and this dark brown pelt. It's a nice complement of each other. The head, I've just picked a helmet because I actually kind of like the idea of these guys being all like fur, humanoid things, like, and living things, like the fur, big axes, the pelts, almost kind of like Viking-esque. They're just being covered with like a futuristic Space Marine helmet. I like the look of it. It's cool. Again, these medallions on the front that hold the pelt in are my favourite. Just these huge, giant extra bits on his chest that really like... Again, it's just a huge, stonky model, and it's all the little things that add on to it to make him like that. Like, if you just had the fur with none of these badges, it'd be a bit meh, but like whatever, like a cloak, because it's got these huge, giant things that really feel heavy and weighty. It adds to the weight of the model. Then yeah, the pelt down the middle. And again, I'm not a massive fan of the belt. It's kind of okay. Like, it looks good. It's just, I don't think I did a good job of it. But that's whatever. And then yeah, the knife. I've just noticed the gem on that knife is kind of missing something. I think that was when I was building it. I kind of rubbed it off a little bit. But no, it's cool to have like an extra big thing on the front of him. But no, I just love like the absolute size of this dude. Like I said, the big two-handed axe, the big shield, the big thing on the back, just all these big, huge pieces that make him look like a larger than life. But yeah, the armour, absolutely love it. I'm really happy with how it came out. Like, I'm really, really glad we got to use the contrast and the shade, but get a lighter tone. Because like I mentioned, that first one I did was so dark. Like, it's just too dark, yeah. But I do like what the contrast does. Like I always say, the contrast and the shade kind of sit in so many of the recesses and add lots of depth and shade into it. So I really, really like that aspect of what the contrast does. It was just getting the right colour, the right shade of it. And yeah, I think now that I've sort of applied less of the... I applied like thinner layers and watered down layers. 10 out of 10. Like, so good. So I'll probably do this going forward. But yeah, overall, absolutely love him. 10 out of 10. And then the base is the same as always. I put down some Armageddon dust just for some texture. Then went over with some white and some blizzard. I also glued down this random stone I've got just to add something else to the base. Put some frost on it. There we have it. Our first Headtaker from the box. He's so cool. I absolutely love him. Yeah, this is definitely my favourite thing I've painted from the Space Wolves so far, like by country mile. That was obvious because he's just so extra and so over the top. I'm super glad I really enjoyed him because, yeah, like I mentioned, he was one of the units that when I looked at the box, I was like, wow, I need that. I need to paint that. It's so amazing and awesome. There's so much detail and it looks so cool. So to have that feeling and then it live up to that hype, brilliant. Absolutely love it. Also, the sub-assembly was really, really good this time. I was a little bit like, I felt like am I being silly because I sub-assembled so much. Like, honestly, I think I only glued like 2 or 3 pieces together before painting it. And you know what? Actually, it was really good. I really liked it because it kind of broke up the model a lot. So it wasn't, I didn't feel like I was painting this huge thing and it was like, oh, I've got this to do and that to do. It meant I could pick up like small pieces like the 2 shin guards, paint them in like an hour or so and be like, cool, I can just put that down and chill for a bit if I want. It didn't feel like a big and monumentous like challenge. It kind of broke it down into small manageable chunks, as well as obviously being a bit easier to paint some sections. So yeah, I liked it, not just for the ease of painting, but also the ease of the project and the motivation, not motivation, the productivity as well. So yeah, big fan of the sub-assembly and a big fan of just the model in general. But no, we're tearing through this box now. We've done 3 Grey Hunters and a Headtaker, which doesn't seem like a lot because there's so many models in the box. There's still like 20 odd left, but I don't think I'm going to make a video out of every single model. Like, I'm not going to make another Headtaker video and another Headtaker video. I think I'm going to do like some batches of stuff or maybe come back. But what I do definitely want to do with the Headtaker, which I think is going to be really cool, is maybe do one last. So we've done one quite early, and then like, so what I might do with the box is try and paint all 10 Blood Claws in like one video, do the Battle Priest, the Leader, the Wolf, all in their own videos. That's like 3 or 4. You know, like kind of like that, like kind of working my way through the box. But then what we call is coming back to the end and painting another Headtaker, and I can compare it to the first one I did and the last one to see how we've progressed with the Space Wolves. So that'd be really cool eventually. That's like long term. But that'll be it for today. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, drop us a like and subscribe, and tune in next time. Thank you.